Assalamu alaikum. Today is June 7th, 2020, and I wanted to share a perspective on the genesis of the recent movement against racism in the US. 2020 has been a very different year. It's a year to remember. Future generations will regard 2020 as the year when the world changed. It started with the killing of an Iranian general who had rid the world of ISIS, and then the world saw unprecedented events, as if taken from a biblical documentary crafted by God's retribution. It started with the virus spreading in China, taking over the entire world, forcing governments to close their economies and societies, resulting in stock market crash, negative oil prices, and unbelievably high unemployment. And now the social unrest. All of this happened in less than 6 months. In other words, we went from a society where arrogance roamed to a society scared of death, fearing for health, having experienced loss of wealth, confined to homes, unable to sustain livelihood, and falling deeper into social unrest. In April, I mentioned a possibility of socioeconomic unrest and the need to prepare as a community because the signs at the time suggested that the virus might just be the beginning of many severe problems. And once the dominoes started to fall, there will be severe consequences. At that time, many ignored the warning because no one could fathom the most developed country in the world falling prey to such behavior of social unrest and protests. Fast forward 1.5 months, and we are seeing unprecedented protests at the global scale on the issue of racism. As a Muslim, one of our fundamental beliefs is equality among all humans. At the same time, Islam understands that humans are created different, and the purpose of this distinction is also laid out in Quran. In Surah Hujurat, verse 13, Allah says, O mankind, we have created you male and female and have made you nations and tribes that you may know one another. And then Allah continues, the noblest of you in the sight of Allah is the best in conduct. Allah is knower and aware. So, dear brothers and sisters, the key is we are different, but we are all equal. The difference is only based on conduct. Therefore, any Muslim who truly follows the Book of Allah should not be a racist. While the religion transcends all boundaries, the sad part is that many Muslims are stuck in cultural norms, be it Indian, Pakistani, Arab, non-Arab, and are inspired by tribal thinking about color of skin. As a result, sometimes there is exhibition of racism. And racism is the issue at hand today, which is a continuation of the dialogue that started in the United States hundreds of years ago with slavery. Many people have talked about the history of racism in the United States. I would like to focus on few aspects that are not typically discussed. And they will be discussed in a couple of different discussion sessions. First of all, why are we seeing this uproar right now? Secondly, is there a bigger problem at hand than racism? And are we making the same mistake in other areas which we should be addressed? Third, what should be the role of the Muslims and the Asian community in this time? While the protests are in response to the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis, but the anger had been developing over time when so many black people were killed by the police and the police wasn't held accountable. The important distinction about why now is that more than 30 million people are now jobless and have been frustrated with being home for several weeks due to the virus. It was this frustration and economic insecurity that pushed the society over the edge, and the George Floyd event served as a fuse that started a chain reaction. If for 1 second we assume that the economic situation wasn't this bad, would people come out for this cause in such numbers? This is a question for everyone listening. I would suggest the answer would be a big no, because people will have their jobs and wouldn't spend time to come out to protest. Heck, people don't go out to vote, which can truly make a difference. Why would they spend time and so much effort on this? To give some more perspective, in the US, people did not rise up when they saw dead migrant babies sweeping up on the shores of Europe from Africa, or when babies were being burnt alive in Burma, or when babies were being bombed by Saudi planes in Yemen. All citizens of Kashmir being under house arrest for months. Children starving to death in Palestine, and teenagers being subjected to similar type of police violence as was experienced by George Floyd. But the entire society keeps quiet, has kept quiet, as if nothing has happened outside of our boundaries, and it is none of our business. One could ask then, we live in the US, why does it matter? Why does any of this matter? It's none of our business. I would say it matters the most because when America speaks, the world listens. And the US citizens have the most power to influence global stage than people of any country.